3, 2, 1.
Triggered.
Triggered.
Yep.
Dan, do you need to do anything with the DSC?
Great job, Jake.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thank you.
I don't know.
Practice.
I really haven't gotten much practice, so just kind of.
Yeah.
Are we training the future ROV pilots of America?
Yeah. He's already trained. He just needs to practice now.
That's cool.
First Niskin.
Is that
That was good.
Yeah, wow. Great for a first time.
Any other tasks here, or do you want to keep on moving? 135 uphill.
Yep.
Roger that.
Yep.
Okay. Gonna do a DVL reset here. So we changed heading, so bounced around a bunch. If you want to get set up at 135,
Yep.
we'll
Oh, and a dead sponge behind that. We might have seen one of those earlier.
Sorry, Jake.
So you're at 135, but you'll want to be over here in front of Argus.
Okay. So lateral right?
Yeah.
I think the port light's still on too.
Okay.
Supposed to be doing this by dive number, not cruise number. That's gonna be messed up. And there's probably a bunch inside that one folder, isn't there? Nope. Ben's gonna love us for that. Sorry, Ben. Make your job more complicated. Supposed to be dive numbers inside the NA123 folder.
Yeah, so we're on dive
You change Argus.
H1829.
Correct. That's just a clerical thing, but it makes the data engineer's job is
Bridge nav.
rather complicated at the end of the cruise when he has to roll the data up and give it to you guys.
100 meters, 135, speed 0.3.
Do we want
So
to
is he
put
gonna come
those
talking to you,
settings
Dan?
back?
What's that?
Do you want to do you want to put the settings back to where we had them?
No, I'm happy with them there, are you? Are you suggesting I put them back?
Kind of torn. I mean, because most of the things we're looking at are pretty bright, but not always. So it's, I don't know.
Might be time engineering hands the DSC over to video.
Yeah.
I should just not say anything.
No, well, I actually talked to Nicole about that. She was all, makes sense because you guys all pack around $2,000 cameras anyway, so you might as well play with the one that's in the housing
Yeah.
downstairs.
Yeah.
I'm challenged to use my iPhone camera.
So, has anyone done the auto settings on this? Because rather than, because we're not going to be looking at it constantly, adjusting for everything.
Yeah, so what I can recommend is you read the thing that
That
Andrew
sheet,
put together.
yeah.
So
Okay.
Andrew Thurber is the OSU scientist who's been graceful enough to loan us his brand new Sexton digital stills camera with it. And he's left us a document on how he had it set up on the last cruise. So he's done some, obviously he's a bit of a shutterbug, and he's done some underwater photography before. And the manufacturer of this camera has, if you read up on the Sexton, the old boy, he was into taking pictures underwater, probably while I was still in kindergarten.
The manufacturer of the housing, you mean?
The manufacturer of the camera and the housing. So they did the Sexton is a company in Salem, Oregon, and they make underwater equipment.
Okay.
So a lot of dive stuff.
Yeah.
And marine biology, and I think he has some Navy background in there too, and his hobby turned into a business. But he's since retired, and he's handed the company over to, he's got some hot shots in there, young guys.
But they didn't make the camera, Sony made the camera.
Correct, so they, the housing is made in such a way it can have several different lenses without any high-end DSLR in there.
Cool.
And then there's a NUC next unit of computing Intel PC in there as well.
Okay.
Same computers that are running all these ROVs at the moment, as a matter of fact. And yeah, they put the whole package together for him, but there was obviously some back and forth between OSU and Andrew Thurber's lab and the manufacturer to come up with the current design. It's a really nice design.
Cool, yeah, I gotta look into it.
It's beautiful housing, and it's really simple how the camera's mounted in there, and
So can we start a tramsex?
Yeah, we just started to get a bit of movement on Argus, so as soon as we see that that's kind of constant, I'm happy to
Okay, so
start.
let us know when you're ready.
Sure. Don't want to get...
So this is Transect 5.
Roger that.
There's another Christmas tree coral.
Nice. Another bathy patties?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we should be going 135. Does not
Or type of black coral.
what PCs do you have over there on your...
I've got a lot, but I don't see any that says stills cam.
you have one that says Norbit?
No.
All right.
You good?
We ready? Transect?
Yeah, it looks like Argus is moving.
Yep.
So are you... Yeah, you're just about good, yeah. Okay.
135?
Yeah,
Mind if I
135.
reach in and just click around a bit? You mind if I just reach in front of you and click around a bit for a second? On that, yeah. No.
You can pick it up on the keyboard. Control Alt X still can, I think. Whatever. All right, we're good. Okay, all right, Taylor Ann, let's call it.
Alrighty.
Start. 1, 8, 9.
Okay, Transect started.
T5.
Transect 5.
Yep.
We're still in the
You
bowling
are.
field.
You are on top of those data sheets, Lisa.
Well, it's the thing that I feel that I can contribute because I'm not very good at the identification. So, and
Well,
and I
it's
and I don't
easier.
expect that I would be because this is not what I usually do.
I mean, same. But I also feel like given it's the midnight shift and there's not much going on in the science chat, it's a lot easier to balance both because one is almost non-existent.
Another dead. What's the waffle cone one?
Heterocone.
Yeah, the heterocone.
You start.
Yeah, we start. So you can just kind of shift over a bit and get out a little bit
And
ahead.
the shimmery cucumbers, which are late Magoni.
I will take your word for it.
That's what I picked up. I was listening when they got to the bottom. I had a hard time taking a nap before this shift.
Me too.
It was very exciting to sort of watch.
Yeah.
And I'll probably continue to watch through the next shift. So,
And you're gonna do what?
excuse me?
What did you say? You're gonna do another watch?
Yeah, I'll probably continue to watch through the next watch. There's a lot
Oh,
of
I see.
uses of the word watch. I will watch,
How do I
but
start
not
the
while I'm on watch.
intervals?
Ooh, that is a coral that we just passed. A stalked coral. What kind was it, you think?
Lepidisis,
Ann?
I think. I think lepidisis.
Lepidisis.
Yeah. I'm sure if it's not, all the coral experts out there are like, no. But I'm pretty sure.
That's fine. They're not here, so you know. The 12 to 4 watch gets to say what it is because at the midnight to 4 nobody else is on.
If it's not, I'd be surprised if it was a different coral.
We're the experts now.
Yep. It's all relative.
Yeah. Beware. We're seeing lots of Pharea.
Definitely becoming more common. It's every few meters now instead of every couple 100 meters.
Yes. So this whole area has been mapped, and when you look at the backscatter data, which gives you an idea of the type of substrate, it said that it would be hard. So it's definitely hard substrate, and I'm happy to see that it's not covered in a layer of silt because that's always something that needs to be ground truth, right?
Yeah.
So that was definitely a phew when we made it here that yes, it's not covered in silt. But it's unfortunate that it hasn't yielded sort of the larger corals. But I was talking with my husband about the, planning these dives and you don't know what you're going to see. And he said, you just need to take it like Edison did when somebody said, are you disappointed that it took you 1,000 times to figure out which filament to use for the light bulb? And he said, no, all those other times just proved that I needed to find something else. So
true.
Yeah, just
about perspective.
Your perspective. Yes, and this is all part of science too, right? This dive will help us ground truth some of the mapping data. But what we find after these transects have been analyzed, it will all go into these habitat suitability models that will help us predict better where we would find areas that can support the growth and maintenance, if you will, of mature sponges and corals. And these animals, they are they form 3D structures that are useful for other animals, and so it just becomes another habitat or ecosystem for many species. And that's why we're looking for them, for the larger corals.
Like these.
Yes.
It's a big and a small. Are those slightly different? Oh no, maybe one has polyps out and the other one doesn't.
So what do you call this black coral versus the Christmas one is Antipathes?
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
The common one that's
that,
in Channel Islands is Antipathes, yeah.
and then this one is a Dendropathes, the one that sort of forms like a, just more like a plume, like a feather.
Yeah, that one's a Bathypathes, the one that looks like a feather. The one that you mentioned does look very similar to the Dendropathes, but I think it branches differently. They still have that kind of same black skeleton and then the pink polyps, but the Dendropathes branches out, whereas the Bathypathes looks like a feather. There's another one back there. Oh, two.
Thanks for that. Bathypathes.
Yeah.
And I see that you entered it in the data log, so thank you. That helps with also
seeing
another
the word.
Bathypathes. So the way that I remember that those are called Pharea, if you want to hear it, is yesterday when we found them, I thought that they look more different. They look more like a corsage rather than this long ruffle. So it made me think of prom and Pharea, and then I thought Farrah Fawcett. So that's how I remember sort of the Farrah
Oh,
Fawcett
her wavy hair.
Yes, her wavy hair.
Absolutely.
Whatever it takes to remember the names.
Parea Fawcett.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
Pharea Fawcett. And I guess I was dating myself there, but the rest of you know Farrah Fawcett as well.
Parea Fawcett. Oh my gosh, someone should be Parea Fawcett for Halloween.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I can't say I know exactly how you would pull that off, but
Well, I have you first have to have her hair. You definitely have to do that. And then probably cover yourself in some type of really ribbon like
a big ball. Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of like when you were a little kid and you'd cut strips of paper and like staple them together to make them like into a bunch of circles. Like you could do that, make a big
the
bunch
chains.
of those. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
There's a way to do
But
this.
only a science nerd would get who you were for Halloween.
Yeah, that would have to be for like an office party or like a lab party.
Yes. Yes. Not something that you do with your family
No.
or your non-scientist friends.
Right, or you'd have to carry around a picture of the sponge with you, but even then people probably wouldn't find it funny.
No.
No context. Might be approaching one of those channels again where it's just mostly sediment.
I liked how you called it a channel, like spur and groove of coral reefs, channel of sand.
Yeah, Meredith had said it, and it made sense to me when she said it. And I wonder, with the depth we're at, are we underneath the oxygen minimum zone at 1,200 meters? We're at 5%. So like if we were, because I know when we were in Channel Islands around 800, I don't know if it was a false reading, but we were much lower than 5%.
Oh, so are you watching the Grafana to see?
Yeah. I've just been keeping an eye on it every now and then. I haven't been tracking it very well, but it is making me curious where we think the oxygen minimum zone might be, if we're underneath it, or if this is just, you know, obviously a completely different habitat from Channel Islands, and in which case I wouldn't know if we were above it or below it.
I think we're seeing a flathead, just the bottom part of it.
Oh, yeah.
The ventral side. Yep, he's turning around, coming towards us.
Hello.
Nice view. Oh, no, that was not a flathead. That was a grenadier.
I saw the points on the fins, though.
I did too, but it had a, it did not have a caudal fin.
Right. Well, we have a lost siphonophore floating in space. So normally that orange yellow ball that's kind of floating, you can see some stringy bits trailing off of it, and that normally those stringy bits are what keep it anchored to the seafloor. They're typically stationary. I wonder what happens. I wonder if they find their way back to the seafloor, or if they
maybe they lift off and they look for another place to hang out.
Yeah.
Take their house with them.
Yeah, it could be a strategy, like an abort situation.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much we don't know.
Well, luckily, having these opportunities to go down with an ROV, we learn more. And just with the technology advances, and there's some folks that are participating on this cruise that are bioengineers, and they're coming up with all kinds of cool tools that we can put down here and observe what these siphonophores are doing, why they move.
Mm-hmm. I also find midwater, in the deep sea, fascinating. All those pelagic fish and organisms that are still in the deep sea but don't associate with the seafloor.
Right, yeah.
Hey.
It's a very full looking coral, Mephidisis probably. and a lot of polyps out. Like shallow water corals, they spawn to reproduce. So they'll release sperm and gametes into the water column with the hopes that they'll mix and then settle somewhere on appropriate hard substrate and then grow into a new coral. But I wonder how close they have to be in order for that to be successful. Another black coral most likely coming up here on the right.
Yep.
Looks like the species that we just collected. Ooh, and is that a flatfish? It is.
Yes.
Of some kind. Erica Frew joined the room. Oh, sorry, what was that?
Yes, and I think Erica is, I think she's on watch.
I saw that and I was like, yay, someone's coming in. And then I was like, oh, wait, that's probably because she's on watch, because who else would be up?
Yeah.
3:40 in the morning.
Be joining.
A lot of my friends say that they listen to the Nautilus now to help them fall asleep at night because it's so peaceful and pretty and calming.
Soothing? Right, I agree. I have a similar experience, but one of my friends was telling me, she's like, it's so hard to like close your eyes though, because she doesn't want to miss what might come up next.
Yeah, I think I'd have a hard time falling asleep because I'd want to see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So Erica was on at the beginning. She was on the 6 to 8 watch, I guess, because we didn't launch until 6. So she's seen this already. Still similar habitat, but more corals.
Definitely more corals. Very exciting.
How much further on the transects?
I wasn't on SPL.
Okay.
Sorry, we had 20 meters left to go. Then I was just asking about so the next steps. So we have this kind of flat area that we're headed to here, and then we could just go east and then go southeast to get to the top. Unless you want to get to it another way, we could try to go directly there, but I think it's kind of off kilter.
No, I think it's fine the way that I see you plotting it. To go up the steepest part, and then to basically, it looks like we're going then east and then go southeast.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Cool.
And Erica, if you're watching in the quad view on channel 3, you can see the course that he's plotting, but I'll go over it with you when we do the watch change.
Yeah, so that's a bit, the only reason I I ask is because going that southeast move there, it won't be as steep of a slope as if we come up this western flank here up to the top. But I don't know if the idea is to go for steep or we're just trying to get to the top, or however we can discuss with the next watch and figure out how we want to move forward. So Taylor Ann, that is the end of the transect.
Yeah.
Are they both about equal distance?
Yeah, it's a. I can measure it out in a second, but it looks like it won't be too much of a time sink. Let's find out though.
So Lizzie, what do you recommend? Do you think we should go up a steeper slope? So follow one of the contour lines and then go up the steeper slope?
The steeper slope might be more interesting. I think we just followed a fairly not steep slope up. Although we did see some cool corals, which I hadn't seen before. But if you did want to do something a little bit different, you could do the steeper slope. I guess it depends. Do you want to see a potential greater diversity of stuff in a shorter amount of time, or do you want to spend more time in each depth band?
I think I'd like to see something different because this is pretty much what we've seen the entire dive. Mm-hmm. So if we went up a steeper slope, potentially that would be different.
It could potentially mean something different.
Only potentially.
Yeah.
So for that, if you're looking at high pack, we'd probably go something like this along contour. It'll be flat for a bit, and then a long contour, kind of strafing the side of this feature, and then eventually we'll go directly upslope. To the peak.
Let's do that. That's fine. Because I don't think we've gone up anything quite steep yet.
No, I agree.
And would that bring us then to waypoint Z if you made it to the end of that steep slope?
Z you can see is just beyond, so it's kind of off a bit. We will pass over one of the depth bands that Z is on. But
okay, but that's fine. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go. Let's go up that slope.
And then go up. Okay. Yeah. I'll pass that along to the
Let's not go to Z. Let's stop. Let's follow that contour line and then go up the steep slope.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Just so happens we can stay going 135. Bridge
so,
nav.
We ended transects. I didn't. Thank you, Lizzie, for making
one more.
Of course. Happy to contribute. We've had it this whole time, so.
You were doing the bulk of the narration, so thank you for that.
You mean that one time where I couldn't hear anyone else and I was just going on and on?
No, it was not just that one time.
No, I just keep thinking, like, what if you guys were trying to talk to me or respond to me and I just was talking over you and I had no idea?
No, you were not. We were not saying stop, stop. Nobody was saying that.
Stop, Lizzie.
Enough. Nobody was saying that. Okay, Liz Clark just joined the room. Hey, Liz.
Welcome.
Here we are on Santa Lucia Bank. So, Rennie, you will communicate to the navigator coming on the new transect that we plotted?
I will, yep.
Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, they'll have to decide if it starts to get steep enough they may have to crab along a bit rather than going straight just to get a view of what's in front of them. But once they get there, it'll be straight up slope for 200 meters all the way to the peak.
That sounds great. And Liz and Eric, if you're listening, if it's 200 meters up the slope, maybe that would be a great place to do a transect. But I'll stay on watch to talk to both of you. And Lizzie, if you want to take off early and have Liz and Erica join, that'd be great.
Sure. I think I'm going to stay on in the science chat because I can never put this down. I'm also looking at Meredith's collection list a little bit more closely, as well as Abby's. And now I think way back there I saw a sponge that was on Abby's collection list, and now I really want to see if I can find it again so I can point it out. So it was a little too late.
Was it? So that which sponge was
Oh
it?
yeah. Let me open up the collections list. Sponges. It's line 34. It's Tretodictyidae. Tretodictium species.
Can you put it in the science chat?
Yes.
Thank you.
And
it's like these little light tubes.
Just for timing concerns, it looks like if we go directly there at the speed that we're going without stopping to these next 2 points, at probably between 2 and 2.5 hours.
Okay.
To get to the top.
To get to the between 2.5 hours, 2 and 2.5 hours.
I think about between 2 and 2.5 hours.
All right.
So around. Yeah.
And then what time do we have to leave to make it to the surface for 8 o'clock?
What was this peak? Was that what? 1200 around?
Yeah.
Let me just do a little math here. Probably an hour and 20 minutes to the surface.
Yeah, so that'll be cutting it short if you don't stop anywhere.
Right. So they're going 0.3 right now, 0.3 knots. And that it might be a little. It might be just around 2 hours. So.
Okay.
So, but that's with not too much stopping. But you could also try to just go straight there. It'll just be a little bit. You'll save maybe 20 minutes or so. Half hour.
Okay, well, I'll discuss it with Liz and see what she says. She has a lot of experience with this. So thanks, Rainey, for thinking about all of the timing and
yeah, just want to make sure so you can prioritize whichever you want to, if you want to get there.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate it.
Sure. Okay.
Hey, Liz.
I'm going to sign off here.
Yes, I can. I can hear you really well. You sound good. And I'll wait for Erica to join. And then, hey, Erica, good morning. Good morning. Erica, I appreciate you rallying and doing 2 shifts on such short notice. So, yeah. So as you can see, we are in similar habitat that we had at your first shift from 6 to 8 in the evening, but we're seeing a lot more corals. And Guy Cochran, the geologist, believes that this rubble that we're seeing has fallen from a mountaintop. And we've been trying to make it there, but it's just, we're not speed racing here. And so there's 2 options that we have. If you're looking at the high pack we could try to go straight to that, the top of this feature, which would, I guess, take maybe 2 hours and 10 minutes. Or we can crab along this, the contour line and then go straight up a wall, if you will. But that would take, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I have no problem with people hearing us, what we're planning on doing, but whatever you want to do. So, what do you guys think? So, five. Yes. So we've collected, I'm looking at the data recovery report. We've collected some encrusting sponges, we collected a single stock asbestos in slurp. We have a Pharea, black coral, a paragorgid, and not a lot of coral collection. So those are the ones that we collected. We fired off 2 Niskins. We have 4 push cores, and we collected some grunge or shell hash. And we also have the drift kelp. So I think we've met many of our targets, but we haven't collected a lot of sponges or corals, mostly because we haven't seen a lot. Yes. Thanks for listening in, Liz.
Hey, science. So.
Oh, good. Well, share it
Yeah.
with us. I'll be listening. So are you both good? Okay, I appreciate you standing watch, and I look forward to listening to you. I'm going to participate via Science Chat. So if you have any questions, Lizzie and I will stay on for a while via Science Chat. Okay. I'm going to go back to SPL.
So
Okay.
science.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just want to double check. Right now, our plan is to go along this flat part straight down to this target about 600 meters away, 550 meters away, and then to maximize the steepness going up to that little maximum feature. Does that sound? Yeah, there's no ship moving, but there's time.
Roger.
Can I hand one? Not sure.
Yeah, I'm going to sign off. Thank you, everybody.
Yes.
Good night.
Good night.
And good morning.
Morning.
Sounds great.
I'll just add. we're going 135. It should be along this flat part. It will get a little steeper, but we're following this contour all the way.
Great.
But I just want to double check with science. This will be a while. They want to go up the more gradual slope to that local max, but all right, I'm just going to call in 40 meters, 135.
40 meters, 135, roger.
And
Do we have any of our scientists ashore with us today right now?
We're all alone.
It says we've got 2 people logged in on B-Link.
Maybe they're muted or...
Science, if you are here, can you please make sure you're speaking on SPL?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Now we
there we
can.
go. Thanks.
Okay.
com check side 2.
Yep, perfect.
Okay.
That was weird.
Yeah, because I think I've been talking to no one but Erica.
Were you guys just on the Nautilus channel?
No, we were on SPL at one point and it dropped off.
Yeah. Huh.
Well,
Okay.
we hear you loud. We hear you loud and clear now. So.
Yeah, and just to confirm, looks like we're going bearing 135. That keeps us along this flat sedimented bottom for a bit and keeps us along that same contour to go up steeply for that last 300 out of 800 total meters. Maybe will be about 5.
Correct.
Yeah.
The steep
I'm
is
sorry,
where
I thought you heard us.
Oh no, that's all right.
Right, the steep is what we're looking for.
Right. Yeah, I can put up the backscatter. Does look rockier on that
And
side, or softer.
Wow. Okay.
It looks like we're 200 meters from our last transect. We should be in a good position right now, or
Shall we start one now, Erica, just because we're cruising?
Sure. I'm just surprised that we're 200 meters from the last one because they just ended it.
well, I don't know if you can see on HiPAC, I have a target T5E, but there's another unnamed target after that. I don't know what that was for, but that T5E target is about 200 meters behind us on the same bearing.
Huh.
Okay. You guys are cruising fast.
Cruising, 0.3 knots. So, yeah, if RV's ready for that.
I think, okay.
Sure.
It's fine by me, Liz.
Yeah,
Most of the
might as
transects
well.
have been on harder bottoms, so a soft one
might be due.
Yeah, it looks like we'll be on the soft bottom for quite a bit, so on this path.
Yeah, might as well do one. Just tell us when you start the transect.
All right.
And if we can drop a target there and be great.
All right. Bridge. Yeah, so
I'm just setting it up right now and then be all good. All right, I'm ready to start transect.
all right, I dropped a target.
Roger that.
Great. And
7
Erica, you got a
now.
time?
Yep, on it.
And I'm just going to get myself oriented and everybody online oriented. If there's anybody listening in, we are off Southern California, off an area called Morro Bay. And if you look at, I think it's channel 4 has the quad chart, you'll see kind of an overview. The little yellow triangle there is where we are, and gives you an idea of kind of where we are off the coast of California. And then what you're seeing then on the left is a very detailed view of the sea bottom. And you can see that little green ship there, well, silhouette, and that's us. And that is, you can track where we are on that screen. And then if you look at other parts of the video of the quad view, you'll see what we're seeing from the Hercules camera, and then which is the one watching the bottom. And then you'll see a view of Argus looking down on Hercules. There are 2 ROVs in the water, one attached to the ship, which is Argus, and then Hercules, which is attached to Argus. It sort of decouples a lot of the movement of the ship at the surface, and it's a great way to operate an ROV. The Hercules is sort of a dog on a leash, and Argus is the dog walker. What do you think about that description, pilots? And I can't hear anybody.
I think that's an apt analogy.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
Sorry, we keep dropping in and out, so I can't tell if I'm
Roger.
talking to no one or not. So this is the same habitat we've been going through for quite a while, really, since the start of this dive. It's a lot of cobble. I think Guy Cochran, who's on our Scientists Ashore right now, I think he thinks some of these rocks have tumbled from a height above. I'm unclear what these rocks are, but we did collect one guy early on when I wanted a sponge that was sitting on a rock. So, and what we're seeing right now are white sea cucumbers, Panicia, I think. Erica, what do you think? Panicia or the white sea cucumbers?
Panicia, or another name came up earlier. I want to say it was, I can't even remember what it was. It started with an L, and it's in that Big Sur guide that Embari put together.
Oh, yes. And I'm going with Panicia because I can't pronounce the other name.
There we go. Lisa just popped it up. Late Ladoni.
These are these guys, if they're Panicia, they can bioluminesce. They kind of get a little luminescent thing going. Just goes up their body like a neon sign. So I always thought that was kind of interesting. Bioluminescent sea cucumbers. And that's all I know about this bottom. We're cruising along on a transect. Erica, do you want to talk about transects and why we do them?
We are trying to collect some standardized information all along the coast with these ROVs via the transects. So we're trying to establish a consistent distance at a consistent speed. And then folks are going to review this video and count and identify everything that they see along these transects. And that way we'll have a count over a known area and be able to estimate a number and expand that over areas that we didn't actually look at. Lots of probably giant grenadier down here tonight. This morning,
Yeah.
I guess I should say.
Yeah, I saw one go by just as we were getting on watch, but of course we were talking to each other. We were off the microphone, so I'm not sure we pointed those out. These big grenadiers, or I guess the common name is rat tails, isn't it, Erica?
That's what, yeah, it depends on who you're talking to, what they call them.
Yeah.
But you can see why they're
But,
called rat tails.
Yeah. They're really, when we see one, you'll notice they have big mouths. That's, oh, there's one. And big mouths, that's an adaptation to the deep sea because food's a little rare down here. They also have another adaptation for the deep sea. They have a really refined lateral line. Why I know this, I do not know, but they are, the lateral line is really a line that runs down the fish, which is the big sensing organ, really. It's epithelial cells that have been modified into hair cells, and they sense motion. So it can sense water currents and such. So rat tails, grenadiers are the really refined lateral line, and it helps them, I think, find food. When something makes a vibration, if it's their prey, they can home in on it really well. And their other adaptation to the deep sea is they're really, they aren't very bony. They are more, their flesh is more jelly, and that's just a modification for the deep sea. You'll see deep sea animals that are sort of soft and flabby rather than having ossified bones, and that's another adaptation to the deep sea. People earlier, when we were taking questions, were asking a lot about how do fish make it in the deep sea, and those are a couple of the ways they do it. Big mouths, so once they find food, they can grab it. Low energy use, they some of that is by having really water-filled flesh, makes them larger without a lot of cost to build the flesh.
Got
not
a
many
skate
ossified
coming up.
bones. What kind of skate is that, Erica?
That is probably a rough tail skate, or could be even No, it's not a rough tail, don't think. It's a deep sea skate. Abyssicola.